So you want to do better in GT7. You want to win. You want to have better finishes. Well, I'm the casual racing gamer and I am here to help you out with that. So this channel is all about, casual racing, and, I always try to add value to my videos. I love, racing in videos, just showing you races and stuff like that. But whenever I can add value and help out slower drivers like myself, I always try to do that. I always try to help guys improve things that work for me that I think might work for you. My tips are not for the faster guys out there. The faster guys are already fast. They don't need my tips. They might say, do this or do that. And it's not that easy for a lot of us guys to just do that. If we can just do it, then we'd be really good drivers already. It's a matter of getting to that point when you can actually, be good, have good finishes. For me, recently reaching a driver rating A is like, for me, would have been unheard of. I don't even know how I got here. But besides just getting here, now I'm trying to actually go for a win. And I'm going to tell you things that I put myself in a good position to actually go for that win, or at least a good finish in an A-rated lobby, which to me, is way out of my league. If you guys have seen my past videos and how I accomplished just getting into this lobby and growing, I still feel like I'm out of my league. But one thing, people always say, if you want to finish better, if you want to have clean races, you have to qualify better. Well, it's much easier said than done. So I can just sit here and say, you guys can just qualify better and you'll have better races and finish better. But it's not that it's easy to qualify better. If we can all just qualify better, we all would. The thing is, how do you qualify better? How do you put yourself up in front? Obviously, being up in front in the grid is going to help you have better finishes. Then if you're up in the front, how do you maintain being up in the front and continue to have good finishes? Well, qualifying better, and for me, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be for many of you, means you need to put in the time. You need to grind. You guys just see the finished product when I'm showing you a race, but I might have spent 3 to 4 hours just qualifying, improving my time, racing against my ghost, watching multiple track guides from different creators, pulling tips from this person or that person, or what might work for me and what might not work for me. Also understanding where we're watching videos from these top drivers. They might be in like top 100. So you need to understand you're not going to be in a top 100 just watching their video. What you're doing to watch their video is trying to help yourself just improve for yourself, not reach that top 100 global ranking. You're not going to get there. If you were that fast of a driver, you'd be doing those videos and not watching those videos. So, our goal is to just be a better, watch those videos, watch replays of the fast drivers. I also try to share my replays because it's not easy to find replays of drivers that might be closer to you and more in reach to your time. So when I share my replays, and you guys can, use my ghost as well, it makes it a lot easier for you to catch me and see where I'm doing things, because I'm a slower driver than the top 100 global driver. So I might be able to help you improve and catch my ghost more than using a ghost from like number 5 on the global ranking list that you'll never catch. And then you kind of just, it could kind of just intimidate you and just make you not want to race and think you're not good. But trust me, you guys are good. You guys could improve. Make sure you're putting in the time to qualify. Make sure, keep racing your ghost, keep improving. Make sure the biggest thing that really helps me get better and pull better times is slow down. And I say this in so many videos, slow down, keep it smooth. Do not think if you want to improve your time, you need to drive faster. What you need to do usually is start braking a little earlier, smooth braking into a corner, not necessarily just hard brake as fast as you can at the last minute, but smoothly braking, trail braking. The biggest thing is getting on the throttle coming out of any turn. The quicker you get on that throttle is where you're going to gain all that speed. So don't think I'm trying to improve my time, I need to drive faster. You probably just need to drive slower, really. You need to brake earlier. You need to be better on your brakes, and you really just need to get on that throttle really quick. But again, it's all about the time. Luckily for Daytona, I already am familiar with the track. So I wasn't learning the new track. It was more for me learning the actual car. So, I didn't have to put as much time to get a good qualifying spot for now. And the big thing was I did this on a Monday. Now, Monday, obviously, a lot of the fast drivers might have not grinded a lot yet. All those big time speed guys, aren't pulling all their times. Everyone didn't have a whole week to work on their time. So if you want to put yourself up in the best opportunity to take a good finish, start in a good spot, just try to get a decent qualifying time on a Monday and then hop into a race on a Monday and then see what you can do before everyone actually has like a whole week to practice that track, to improve their time, spend hours every day. So on Monday, people only have so much time already. So that's really a good opportunity to get in there. So I figured I already knew the track. Let me get in there. Let me see how far I'm off from a decent time. And when I pulled my qualifying time, and I probably spent about 30, 45 minutes to pull this qualifying time. Again, because I already knew the track. I was familiar with the track. If it was a track I wasn't familiar with, it would have been hours. But since I was familiar with the track, in about 45 minutes, and I was in the top 1,000 on the global ranking, that's probably like, I'm probably a knockdown by now. But that was a good thing for me because I knew like, hey, I'm pretty decent if I'm in the top 1,000 to start racing today on a Monday. So it puts me in a good position. Now, going into being in a good position versus being in a bad position and why it's better. Well, if you're not a fast driver, you don't want to start in the back. If you're not a fast driver, you're not going to overtake all these cars with better qualifying times than you to move up to the front. Also, you're going to be in a bigger mess in the back, and you're going to be in a lot of traffic, and that's going to make it harder to drive fast. It's going to be harder to pull ahead. So that's why you want to say you want to qualify the best so you can be up towards the front of the grid. If you're up towards the front of the grid, it also means you don't have to drive as hard. You don't have to drive as fast. You just need to be consistent to stay in front of the grid. And that's the biggest thing, is consistency in these races. You want to stay consistent because a lot of cars are going to be making mistakes and you don't want to make those mistakes. The biggest thing in a race is don't brake late. Don't overrun turns because that's where cars will pass you. It happens to me. It happens to me a lot. I don't lose because other cars behind me are faster or driving better than me. It's because I'm making a mistake, giving them the opportunity to pass me. If I go into a turn too hot and overrun it, here's 3 cars passing me. But if I would have broke a little earlier and handled that turn the way I should be handling it, those 3 cars would not have passed me. We'd all still be running consistent, good laps, and I'd be in front of them. So a big thing is don't overrun turns. Brake a little earlier in a race than maybe you're used to, because you also have to take in consideration you might be in a slipstream, so you might be gaining more speed than what you're used to in a qualifying lap, and you're braking, let's say, at the 100 board, but you're not coming to the 100 board with a slipstream, so you're going at a slower speed. But in a race, you might be going at a faster speed. So take that into consideration. Also, if there's a car really close in front of you, and this is a big thing, I consciously tell myself while I'm driving, if there's a car in front of me, a lot of times, depending on how close I am, I can't see the braking marker. I can't actually see the apex. And that's a problem going into blind areas like that. So I consciously will pull back. I will loosen up on my throttle and give myself room so I can actually see what I'm doing. I'm willing to pull myself back and not be on that car in front of me's bumper so I can handle the turn better, as opposed to just staying right on his bumper and not seeing the apex where I'm turning in. To me, that's going to put you in a much worse situation. So knowing when to pull back is really important. Don't just always have in your head where I always need to pull in front of the car in front of me right now. I'm very close to him. I need to stay very, very close to him. Don't be scared to pull back. Pull back when you need to. Make sure your sight into everything is good. If you can't see coming in, and a big thing with Daytona is when you're coming into that bus stop chicane, before the last stretch, if you can't see where you're coming into that chicane, you're going to be in trouble. So, and you're coming in at high speed. A lot of times you'll have a car in front of you, you're running through their slipstream, and I actually just let up on my gas. I pull back. I give room because I like to see where I'm coming into. And a lot of times, if you do that, the car in front of you knows you're close enough where they think they have to take it so fast and hot, and they're scared to brake early, and they're going to probably overrun it or turn it bad, and you're going to come in nice and smooth. So that's just a couple big tips here. But anyway, let's get into the race. Hopefully some of these tips help you out. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. The Faster guys always leave some great comments in there as well that can be helpful to you, helpful to me, helpful to all. Here's the race. I started P4. I was happy with the P4 start. It puts me in a good position to at least finish. If I could finish in top 5 in an A-rated lobby, that's a really, 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 really insane good day for me. And I don't think I finished top 5 yet in a couple of races that I've already done in an A lobby. I think maybe P6 might have been my best finish in an A lobby so far before coming into this race. I'm in a good position now. I did have a couple races at Daytona where I think I might have started at P3 the best. And I just came in somewhere too hot and cars were able to overtake me. Again, me basically beating myself there. But let's see what happens in this race. We have again, Daytona 4 laps. So it's not a long race, but you don't need to win it in the beginning. You have time. There's places to make moves. There's places where you don't want to make moves, and you always want to be smart. Be smart. I always say risk versus reward. Is the risk worth it to make a move in this time and place versus the reward you might see, or do you want to wait? Do you want to wait and maybe have a better opportunity? I'm not always thinking win. I'm not always thinking I have to overtake the car in front of me at every moment. Even a P4 finish is a good finish. So if I can run consistently at a P4, I'm not gonna complain about that. So coming into turn 1, everyone, driving good, driving safe. Turn 1, you always want to be smoothest on turn 1. Don't overrun turn 1 because there's so many cars. Everyone's close. They're going to come at you. You already see a car running into the grass right there. So here we come around turn 1. You see P3, which is his name is Slow, goes off the road there. And this puts me in P3 right now. Now, this gives me a good opportunity in my head while I'm driving. And I do a lot of talking in my head when I'm driving. So I know I have to now, I don't want to mess this up. A P3 finish is going to be insane for me in an A lobby. There's a lot of cars still on our tail, so I know I'm not safe yet. I'm definitely not in a safe position. I'm thinking I gotta run consistent. I did take that turn a little wide, but luckily I was able to get on my throttle and still stay ahead of P4, who was behind me. That's a big turn right there. That a lot of people need to be careful. You definitely don't want to take that wide. You want to actually come really closer to the inside curb. So be conscious of that. Coming into the chicane, again, I'm not trying to come into the chicane fast. I'm trying to come into it smooth. I just want to be smooth. I want to be able to get on that throttle soon so I can pull away. I'm always thinking, where can I pull away? Not how can I get into a turn the fastest I possibly can. I'm always thinking, where can I pull away from the car behind me? The biggest thing to me isn't always catching the cars in front. It's pulling away from the cars behind me, giving me room to run my race without worrying about what's happening in my mirror, without worrying about someone possibly getting into the back of me because they don't know where I'm going to be braking. So here we go. I'm coming into turn 1. So I do have in my mind, I'm thinking in my head, I'm going to run a little aggressive here. I do want to get closer to P1 and P2 because they're racing pretty close. They're running neck and neck. And if there's a mistake there and those two guys take each other out, I want to be close enough where I can overtake them. But I also don't want to drive too aggressively where it's going to affect my race and it's going to put me back to like P10 or P12. So I want to stay towards the front. I want to run good. And I want to, where I know I can run good is where I want to really push my car. Where I'm not comfortable, I might slow it down. P4 is still on my tail right here. I need to still be careful. I need to be conscious of that. P1 and 2, they're in my reach right now. And I'm just trying to pull closer to them. You can see I take that turn better now. Stayed on the inside. Gonna get a nice acceleration out. So it gives me more room. Pulling away from P4 right now. So that was important to me. I know I needed to make that. I know I needed to come out of that turn well to get a nice run on the straight. Again, I still have room here coming on the straight. I don't want to get too close to P1 and P2 and get into a mess of anything happening coming into the chicane. Those guys are going at it, and I keep getting closer and closer. I'm trying to run a really good lap here to again get closer to them, but also pull further ahead of P4. But P1, P2, the closer they run, the better it is for me. The more banging, the more pushing they do, it gives me the opportunity to get closer here. Now I'm coming in here, I'm getting a slipstream, and I'm thinking, do I want to get in, make this 3 wide coming in here? And I don't want to do that. So I'm going to stay back a little bit. I'm going to ease up a little bit. I'm going to come into the turn. I'm going to still stay close enough where they're going to be in my reach. And I actually ran a really good lap. For me, that was really good lap time You see someone spinning out there. That was a really good lap time for me, 147, 150. But here we go. So P2 getting into P1. This was a big deal right here. Then P1, who took over P1, what happened there was it wasn't a dirty move. And I'm going to tell you why it wasn't a dirty move. Because he brake checked after he hit him when we were coming around that turn. And I'm going to assume it was for the intention of he was going to let the other guy pass him, who he knocked off. Unfortunately, he wasn't in a position on the track that he could have just stopped there and let him come. I was literally right behind him. So he needed to keep going. But I think his intention was to stop, because his intention wasn't to wreck P1 there and take over P1. It was just the way the car, it was a racing incident, and he was I really think he was gonna be good and give him the spot there. But unfortunately, I was right behind him. He needed to move. So he really brake checked, and I thought it was gonna ruin my day as well, but luckily he took off again. Here I knew he had a 4-second penalty, and for me, I didn't want to get too close to him knowing he had a 4-second penalty. So it wasn't, I didn't need to risk overtaking him here. I knew I was going to overtake him at the 4-second penalty that he's going to be serving. And as you can see him serve this penalty, he does move all the way up to the top to get out of everybody's way, which, you know, that's why, you know, he's a good racer. He means well, and he's definitely, you know, he's out there not to wreck anyone's day. That's why I knew he didn't wreck that other guy on purpose, just from the way that he was driving here. So coming in here, now I took over P1. I'm like 1 lap to go, P1. In my head, I'm like, I just need to run really, not even fast. I just need to be consistent. I have a huge lead here. When I'm looking in my mirror, I can't really see anyone behind me. So I know I have a nice, decent couple-second lead where I just need to not run too fast, not run too crazy, just be smooth, be consistent, don't overrun anything. You can see me just taking my turns nice and easy here, not trying to do anything too fast, don't need to run the car at the edge right now. There's no reason for that. But, and again, going back to the car, when I saw he had a 4-second penalty, I didn't want to get too close to him, because it wasn't worth for me banging bumpers and fenders with him at that point, because I knew I was going to overtake him. So I'm not going to put myself at risk trying to overtake him when I knew it was coming up. So I stayed behind and I didn't feel like I needed to speed up to get any closer to him. 4 seconds was a big penalty that he got for that shot. So P1 running smooth, and I was like ecstatic when I got this win. But again, it was all about putting myself in a good position, getting at the top of the grid, and running good, consistent laps. You know, taking it easy here. There's no reason to overdrive the chicane. Big lead. Knowing your lead over the car behind you is very important. How much time, and you know, you don't see how much time you have in VR. You don't see those stats, but you can see in your mirror if there's no one in sight, then you know you have a nice lead. You know you don't need to push it. You don't need to overdrive it. You know, slowing down on this last lap, like literally, I could have even drove it a little slower, but I just wanted to make sure that I hit my marks, took everything smooth, ran it good, and this was actually my first, obviously my first A-rated lobby win. So it was a pretty big win for me, and it kind of proves that if I can do this, guys, you guys can do this. You guys can definitely do this. I have no special talent for sim racing. It's all about just being smart and being smarter than the next driver. It's not even about being faster than the next driver. I'm probably not even anywhere as fast as most of the drivers who are in this actual race with me. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. That was enough rambling. Thumb it up, subscribe for more awesome videos of just casual sim racing here. And we'll catch you on the next one. We out of here. Peace.